Howdy.
This is Tale of Two Dead Girls. I'm Kayla.
I'm Michaela.
And this is our episode. Yeah, that too. This is our episode number 6. It's gonna be pretty much in honor of Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yeah. Lorraine just passed away, what was it, a week ago or something?
On the 20th, I think?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
And
it was very devastating.
Yeah, so it just kind of reminded us of what they did, and we're like, we should talk about it, and
Especially because I believe my last story was about the Smurls.
It was, yeah.
And I talked about the Annabelle case, and that was from the Warrens too, and they're pretty important to me. So I was very excited to have a full episode dedicated to them. And Ed passed away about 13
it was
16,
2006 19? I think 2006.
Oh yes, he did pass in 2006, so 13 years ago. So yeah, this is our Warren episode.
Yeah. Kayla's gonna go first today because she wrote all about the Warrens, so she's gonna kind of preface everything for you guys.
Yeah.
Get your toes wet.
But before we get into that, I do want to mention that I noticed one of my dogs, Buddy, one of my male dogs, Buddy, he doesn't have nipples.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, because the other day my mom came into my room and we were petting Willow and scratching his belly, and she's like, oh, why does he have nipples? He's a boy. I'm like, because fucking male humans have nipples, so fucking dogs are gonna have nipples? I don't know. And then she was like, really? That's weird. And I was like, I mean, I guess. And so we were petting Buddy, and I realized how smooth he was, and I was like, wait, what? And so we turned him over. He has no fucking nipples.
That's so
Buddy
weird.
is straight up just a pee-pee. And I mean, he got
when was he fixed?
Probably because we got him when he was 2 weeks old. We found him in a ditch, and
at the right age.
So yeah, so it was when he was able to get it done. That's when we got it done.
That's what I did with Molly too, and she barely has nipples. I think it's you don't let them develop or something. I don't know. That's my theory.
I Googled it and it said that it's a genetic
oh really?
Defect. Yeah,
I don't know.
Defect.
Me acting like a scientist, I'm like, I have no idea.
It's so crazy though, because I'm just whoa, my dog doesn't have nipples. It's so funny. My Jesus. Poor Buddy.
There was something I wanted to talk about too. So I've been obsessed with this podcast. Everyone loves My Favorite Murder, right? It's the fucking best. But My Favorite Murder started this podcast network called Exactly Right, and they have this.
Yes.
Yeah, it's it's pretty good. And they have this new podcast called Jensen and Hole's Murder Squad. And one of them's an investigative reporter, and one's a cold case investigator, and they basically are kind of seeking the public's help to solve cases and find victims' identities and stuff.
That's really cool.
It's so cool, and it's so interesting, and both of the hosts just have good voices, and I just love them to death. Every day I walk to work and I just listen to that. They have great intro music. 10 out of 10. Listen to them.
I should check it out.
You'll love them. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I actually okay, so I kind of stopped listening to podcasts for a second just because I don't know, I've been listening to more music lately. I actually found another podcast. I forget where I found out about them from. It was probably from another podcast. I don't know, but they're called The Grave Talks.
Okay.
And it's this guy who interviews homeowners of the houses that are haunted.
Whoa.
And I believe he actually has fuck, what's his name? Chris,
Angel?
Nah, I fucking
magician?
wish. That'd be
He's
so
like,
tight. Mind freak.
Just pops out.
Are you ready? No, I'm just kidding. No, it's, God, that guy. It's Chris from, the Lutz family from the Amityville Horror. One of the sons, and I think I think he interviews them. Fuck, I don't know. But, yeah, and he, like, does interviews, like, you know, with these people, and they talk about, like, the shit that happened in the houses and
That's
stuff
so
like
cool.
that. So, yeah, it's, like, super tight. And his episodes aren't that long. They're, like, 40 minutes, so it's, like, a decent amount of time. And they're really good. I really like it. He's pretty cool. So, if you guys haven't heard of the Grave Talks, totally check him out. He's pretty cool.
Support podcast people. That's what we're here for.
Yes.
Also,
speaking of...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to just say about your boyfriend.
Oh, my God. Yeah, my boyfriend made us some art. It's super, super cool. And I don't know, we were thinking about making, like, prints or something. I don't know if you guys would be interested in that. But, you know, some TOTDG merch to put on your walls, you know?
Yeah. Or maybe, like... I don't know, a tote bag, or a pin,
for sure. Yeah.
or a button, or a sticker, or...
Yeah, I definitely want to do stickers. We could do literally anything. Let us know what you want. We'll put it on there.
Maybe we can try to do some, like, made-to-order kind of thing. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to look more into it. But if that's something you guys would be interested in, go check out the Instagram post. It's up there.
Yeah, look at that design. It's so cool.
Yeah.
He came up with it all on his own. He was like, this is perfect for you guys, and this is what I'm doing.
I thought it was so amazing to, like, see something with our name in it. Like, you know, since our logo, after that, I was like, whoa, this is so cool. I love it.
I know, me too.
I want to get that shit tattooed. Someday.
Shout out to my babe. Also, check him out. Check out BG Arcia on Instagram. He's a great artist, and buy his art because... he's hot and he does good art. So 10 out of 10 all around. Also, while you're on Instagram, check out this. Okay, so I know you guys probably like weird stuff because you're listening to this podcast. And I love crime scene photos like a lot. I just think like it really tells the story of like what happened. And like, I don't know, you're just like, what? That's what it looks like? I don't know. And there's this Instagram that I've been following called Crime Scene Cleaners Inc. And they post like gnarly crime scene photos and like before and afters, like them cleaning, and they tell you the story, and it's so interesting.
Wait, is that the one that we follow on our account?
Yeah, I followed it.
Okay, that shit is so fucking crazy.
It so is. I was telling Kayla before we started recording, my grandma sent me this like article about how basically like pilots in the Navy are starting to get the Navy to basically like stop dismissing UFO sightings and like, I don't know, start believing in aliens. I don't know, get with the freaking program. But they basically have been pretty silent about the issue because, you know, they just get turned down every time they bring it up. So a step in the right direction, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, aliens are for sure fucking real.
I know. Come on, people. Like, they know that it's real. They just don't want us to know.
They probably have, like, fucking government and alien, like, meetings or something.
I'm sure they're, like, I don't even know. It's like Scary Movie 3 when the aliens, like, come down and, like, they pee out of their finger.
Ew! Oh, my God. That was so fucking weird.
I love that movie so much.
Have you seen Mars Attacks?
Yeah, I've seen it.
That shit is so funny. Oh my God.
I love it.
I love that movie. I remember I had a nightmare of it like years later after I'd first seen it. Like I was probably like in my teenage years. Oh my God, that sounds so weird to say. Like I'm 23, but like saying my
like
teenage years.
Yeah.
Oh God, I hate that. But anyways, I had like a nightmare and I remember it scared the shit out of me. But I think it's funny how they're like, nah. I
know. That's so how I feel.
And then their brains explode with that one song. Yeah. Oh my God. It's so funny. God. Wait.
A quality film.
before we finish talking about aliens, can we talk about Coneheads, please?
Oh my god, I love that movie. Coneheads, 10 out of 10 film. Please
That
watch
is
it with your friends, your family, your mom, your uncle, your dad. I don't know.
fucking a stranger. That shit is my favorite movie.
Such
It
a
is
good movie.
so funny.
The way that they have sex and they like rub cones.
They touch their foreheads to each other. Oh my, or their four cones.
Yeah.
Oh my
The
god.
romance.
I remember my 5-year-old second cousin. She used to live with me for like a couple of months last year, and she was like, Kayla, or no, she said, cousin, can we be Coneheads for Halloween? And I was like, oh my god, yes.
Imagine that costume.
Oh god.
Honestly, I picked a really good Halloween costume this year. I have it kind of in the works, but Brandon then was like, I want to be Cheech. And I'm like, typical boy. Like,
And
mess up
Chong?
my... Yeah, I was like, no.
Oh my god.
I'm not doing
That's
it.
so like that. I mean, that's funny, but it's like an easy costume if you like don't have anything else to put together.
I'm like, we have the rest of our life to be Cheech and Chong. And this year, I have a good idea for once. Let me have this
Hell
one.
Yeah. That's cute though. You guys have the rest of your lives to be Cheech and Chong.
Exactly.
All right. Well, want to get in?
Let's do it.
Want to get it in? Okay.
When you hear my story, that's not going to be funny anymore. Just wait and see.
Oh, fuck. That's scary. All right. Okay. So, here we go. I'm just going to talk a bit about the Warrens. So, Ed and Lorraine Warren were American paranormal investigators and authors associated with prominent cases of hauntings. They were married for 61 years.
Damn, that's an accomplishment itself.
Yeah, it's such a long time. It's insane.
It's your whole life.
It is your whole life. It's so sweet. Oh, God, I love it. Ed was a self-taught demonologist, which demonology is the study of demons or of beliefs about demons. He had grown up in Connecticut in a house that he believed was haunted. He was around 5 to 12 years old, where he recalled a lot of the experiences in the house. Yeah, so around here's a little story that happened. Okay, so this story is about when he was living in that house. So around 3 a.m., he would hear the closet door beginning to open up. At first, he'd look into that closet and see only darkness. Then slowly he'd start to see a light beginning to form, and it would morph into a ball shape, sort of like a basketball. What? And then he'd begin to see a face in that ball.
Okay, like an orb?
Yeah, so this is actually called a ghost globule.
Oh my god, I seriously think I just felt something touch my foot.
Ew, please don't say that, because I thought that too, like, so 10 seconds ago.
I am such a wimp, dude. The second you started talking, I was like, I'm haunted right now. Something is happening in here. Get me out.
Yeah, my feet are hanging off the bed, and
that meme that we posted that was like the fucking person who's like all scared and then reading a horror book, that is so us. We're like
literally us. But yeah, that thing is called a ghost. Okay, I don't know if it's globule or globe, but it's globule. Globule? I don't know.
Globule.
I'm gonna just call it global. So global. This is gonna be like so this is a quote, so I think he actually said this. In that global was a face of an old woman, and she was not looking at all pleasant. The global would then come out into my bedroom, and then accompanied by audible footsteps and heavy breathing. The room would then become icy cold, an unnatural cold, a psychic cold. And I'm saying to myself, Ed, there's a logic explanation for everything. And that's something his dad always used to tell him.
Yeah.
Because his dad, I think his dad was like a cop. I could be wrong. I forget. But his dad like
something literal,
shit, and he just his dad just didn't believe in ghosts, and so he would always say that there's a logical reason for everything. So that's why Ed was telling himself that. And but by the time, okay, this is still in quotes, but by the time I was out of the bed and but by that time I was out of the bed and right between my mother and father in their bed. Also, so that was it. That was that little story.
So that's like his like first experience. He's like, damn, ghosts are real and I've seen it and I'm gonna spread it to the world.
Yeah, he saw a fucking orb in his closet with a face
global
in it. a ghost global.
Whatever that is.
I should have Googled that.
I know. Let's Google it now. Let's see.
Yeah, you do it, because I don't want to touch my phone.
I'll look it up and then I'll update you guys later.
All right, so I'd also like to mention that Ed was in the Navy during World War II.
Ooh.
Yeah, so he was like in World War II. It's insane. He was either one of 69 survivors, or he saved a guy that was one of 69 survivors on 2 ships in the North Atlantic that went down. Most of the people on those ships either froze to death or drowned. So
Damn.
Ed like saved someone. It's insane.
That was like his calling all along.
Yeah, it's crazy. But he served in the war for a while, I think.
Really?
Yeah, him and Lorraine, they like they were because like I think he like left her like 4 times, like not left her, but like left to go
for that,
like deployed, or something.
That's hard.
It is super hard. My brother was in the Marines, so like but
it's a soft spot.
Anyways,
so Ghost Global is not a thing. I don't know.
It's not?
I don't know. Like, I Googled it and nothing came up.
What? Really?
Yeah.
That's so funny. I don't know. Well, I'll look it up. Maybe I'll find something. Okay. So, now a little bit about Lorraine. She was born in 1927 and was a clairvoyant, which means having or exhibiting an ability to perceive events in the future or beyond normal sensory contact. And she was also a light trance medium. I didn't look up what that meant. I know what a medium is, but I don't know what the fuck a light trance medium is.
I don't know.
She began having clairvoyant experiences as a child. She realized she had some sort of gift at around 9 years old. She would see lights around people, and she thought everyone could see it. She could see the lights around animals, flowers, trees. She could see these lights literally like around every living thing.
That's such a gift.
Yeah, and she thought like she didn't want to be different, she wanted to be normal with everyone. So she never really talked about it. Ed and Lorraine, they met when they were 16. Lorraine was going to the movies with a group of girls from her school. By the way, she went to a Catholic school, like an all-girl Catholic
makes
school.
sense.
And and so they told her that they wanted to introduce her to someone, and at that time Lorraine wasn't thinking about dating. She was focused on school. She was focusing on the things that she was doing for the church and her family. She didn't deny wanting to meet him though, because she didn't want to seem abnormal, since 16-year-old girls are all about boys.
Yeah.
So Ed was actually an usher at that movie theater.
Convenient.
Her first thought about him was, this is quote from an interview that I watched. She said, "What a well-groomed man you are." But I think she thought that in her head. I don't think she said it.
What a weird thought to have. What a well-groomed lad.
Hey, don't forget, this is like the 1940s.
Different time. You're right.
So, but she was in the interview, she was like describing like literally everything that he was wearing, which is so sweet that even
she remembered it.
She remembered that. That's like fucking 60 years ago, and she remembered it.
I cannot remember what Brandon was wearing when I met him. Actually, I definitely
Brandon.
can. He still has the same hoodie.
Oh,
it was
cute.
a Lycanthropy hoodie. He like lost it, and it was like devastating. And then he found it.
Well,
the universe is restored. I forgot for a second, but I remembered. I was like, oh wait, I have a picture of it too.
So yeah, after the movie, Ed left with her and the girls. He said, all you Wait, what? Wow, that was stupid. I didn't fucking write that right. He said, I'll buy all you girls a Coke at Rich's, which was an ice cream place. So they hung out there. After Rich's, he said, I'll walk along with ya.
Wow.
Quotes, so he actually said that. So they walked,
cute.
and his house was going to come up first. He was walking backwards and talking to her and the other girls. They get to his house, and he says, nice to have met you, Lorraine, and he ran across the street. From that moment on, she felt something for him. In her diary, she wrote, quote, I'll spend the rest of my life with you. Oh, so sweet. So then they got married in 1945.
Damn. Wait, so what year was that?
1943, I want to say.
Okay, so they probably
16.
just had to wait till she was 18, yeah. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. It sounds about right.
Yep.
So before they married, Ed made a trip across the Atlantic. He never made a trip across the North Atlantic after they were married because the war was ending by that time. And this one trip, he got off his ship in Scotland and he was alone. He stepped over a puddle and he looked into it.
Ooh.
And knew something was terribly wrong with Lorraine.
What? Intuition hard.
Yeah, so I don't know. He might be psychic or something too. I don't know. But her appendix erupted and the doctors didn't want to operate on her. They said it was useless and that she wasn't going to make it because like the poison or whatever from the appendix like was spreading. So
1940s doctors, man, like lazy. Come on.
I know, fucking assholes. They're like, just let her die.
They don't have the technology. They're like, this is way too hard. I'm not dealing with this. This is my day off tomorrow. Like, no.
Fucking idiots. But okay, so during that time while she was in the hospital, she had an experience where she could see her father outside of her room at the Catholic hospital she was in. She could also see a nun and her mother at the foot of her bed, and she could see a sailor kneeling down next to her bed, which was Ed.
Dang.
She was looking over at everything as if she was above it all, so she was like floating, like she was out of her body, so it was like an out-of-body experience.
Projecting, yeah.
Yeah.
She was like so near death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when I read that, or when I heard that part of the interview, I was like, astral projection.
Yeah. And also I think I heard her say once in an interview that like Ed wasn't like psychic, but he's like sensitive, like to the other side. So I don't know what that means, but
yeah, that makes sense.
Those were her words. So I'm like, all right, Lorraine, you know best.
Anyway, they started selling paintings, and through that, they began their ghost investigations. If Ed heard of any place that claimed to be haunted, whether a haunted house or a haunted location, he would drag Lorraine to check it out.
Hot date spot.
So romantic.
Who needs Tinder when you got a man's like that?
Fuck yeah. Oh my god, wait, maybe I should put that in my Tinder bio. Like, take me on ghost investigations.
Yeah.
And I'll be with you. I don't know.
Win-win.
How the Warrens would get into these haunted houses is especially interesting. Quote, we were just kids. Nobody was just going to let us in. We were curiosity seekers. We were not yet the directors of the New England Society for Psychic Research, which I'll talk about that in just a second. More quote, I'd go out in the middle of the road where they could all see me, and I'd start to sketch the house, and you'd see the curtains going back and forth. And then, more quote, what's this kid doing? They would be thinking. I would do a really nice sketch of the house with ghosts coming out of it, and I'd give it to Lorraine. She'd go knock on the door with her Irish personality. She'd say, oh, my husband loves to sketch and paint haunted houses, and he made this for you. I made it special for them.
Aww.
And it was through the paintings that the Warrens got themselves into these haunted houses. And
smart.
Then they would talk with the homeowners one-on-one. Basically, Ed just wanted to see if the same things happened to those families that happened to his family.
Did they?
I mean, Probably, I don't know.
Whoa, his paintings are so good.
Wait, you looked them up? Oh my god, I didn't look them up. I should have done that.
Whoa, I'll send you one right now.
Okay. They'd usually come across human spirits, but given Ed's areas of expertise, this is like with their investigations.
Yeah.
But given his area of expertise, they encountered more sinister spirits as well. Apparently, they didn't charge for their investigations. They made money from any movie and television licensing rights, books and lectures, and tours of their museum. So anytime someone wanted them to come to their house or whatever and investigate, they never charged them, which I think is
That's
really,
so
really
nice.
sweet.
Yeah. They like genuinely loved that. That's why they did it. Like they're like, this is what we are passionate about.
Yeah. It's really cool that they did that.
For sure.
They were Roman Catholic, and Lorraine said it was her belief that a lack of religion was what often opened the door for malevolent forces to enter a home or a life. The Warrens founded... Huh?
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. The Warrens founded the New York, England... Oh, the New York. What the fuck? Okay. The Warrens founded the New England Society for Psychic Research in 1952, making it the oldest ghost hunting group in the region, which is like the New England area. They also opened up their museum called the Warrens Occult Museum, which I talked about in the first... in our first episode. According to the Warrens, the NESPR, which is the Society for Psychic Research, utilizes a variety of individuals, including medical doctors, researchers, police officers, nurses, college students, and members of the clergy in its investigations. And NESPR does not charge for their services, but they only ask for expense coverage.
That's fair, but still, like, I don't know. But Ed and Lorraine didn't make anybody pay for that. Except, like, I think some people had to, like, come to them, but they're still helping for free, so.
Yeah. The NESPR goal at first was to simply investigate hauntings. Then, around 1965, the Warrens went into a home where the spirit of a little girl named Cynthia was lingering. They listened to the child coming through a deep trance medium, and she was looking for her mother. Ed thought to himself, this is horrible. This little child is earthbound. She's looking for her mother constantly, day in and day out. How do I help this child? It was no longer just experiencing the hauntings. Now the Warrens wanted to help. The question arose as to where to get the knowledge to help anybody in spirit. Well, who delves into the supernatural? Priests, clergymen, rabbis. Ed started interviewing dozens and dozens of clergymen of all faiths and would ask them, quote, if somebody called you from your parish and said there was a ghost in the house, what would you do? Some said, quote, I'll tell them to go see a psychiatrist. Others said, I'd go to the house and bless it. If the blessing didn't work, I'd say a mass, and if the mass didn't work, I'd perform the rite of exorcism. But many Catholic priests interviewed didn't even believe there's a devil, and yet all of this material is part of Catholicism's teachings.
You, like, have to.
Yeah, I don't get how they could not believe that there's a devil.
Like, if you believe in God, you have to believe in the devil. Like,
yeah,
in that way, in that religion.
I 100% agree, so...
Like, fake. Fake news.
It is in the Bible. Within every 10 words you have a psychic word. Apparition, ghost, devil, demon, evil. It's all in the Bible, everything they talk about. NESPR's work is based in religion, but also uses science. People have said that said to the Warrens, quote, oh God, you go into a house and you look for devils. And Ed's response, you're damn right I look for devils, and I look for everything else too. And I have the scientists with me, and they're looking for something else, and we get together and we talk and straighten the whole thing out. Nobody can bring us into a house and fool us. You couldn't tell us that your house is haunted and get away with it, because I'm the biggest skeptic going. I have to see it, I have to hear it, and I have to feel it with the physical sense, that's one of the things, like, reasons why I believe in them.
Yeah.
Or I believe them. They have claimed to have investigated over 10,000 cases during their career. They even trained several current paranormal investigating demonologists.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder who. Like, I want to see their stories.
Oh, wow. I should have looked into that. I don't know why I didn't. In those cases, they investigated some priests would become possessed. People were sometimes physically attacked. Some cases, time was violated and the physical environment was completely rearranged. Sounds kind of alien. Like, it does, yeah. To me. Unworldly entities manifested and then presided. And then cases where spirits don't just haunt a house, but they visibly tear it apart. Some of the most popular ones they worked on were the real Annabelle story, which we covered. Yeah. The Perron family haunting, also known as the story behind The Conjuring. The Lutz family haunting, also known as the Amityville Horror. The Enfield Poltergeist, which The Conjuring 2 is based on that. The trial of... Okay, I'm gonna butcher this.
It's like Arnie or something like that.
Yes. Arnie or Arn Cheyenne Johnson. Yeah. Then the Snedeker family haunting, also known as the haunting in Connecticut. The Smurl family haunting, which we just covered. And the demonic werewolf in London. Ed Warren said, quote, "If you look at a fan and it's still standing, you can see the propellers very easily. But if that fan starts up, you can't see anything. It's invisible. Spirits are on that different vibration field. They're all sense. Around us right now, but you can't see them. But if I'm scared. Don't be scared. Oh my God, I'm trying not to be scared. But if you were like Lorraine, you could see them clear visually, hear them clear audibly. Damn. In an interview I watched with Lorraine, she said that I know I'm like jumping like into different things, so sorry if it's all like choppy.
It makes sense. I think it's their life is a mess, right? Everybody's life is. It's a life.
You're right.
It's all over the place.
Yeah. In an interview that I watched, she said that in 2000 to 2001, I believe, I'm not too sure on this time frame, her and Ed were in Japan for some filming about them, and she talked about how they investigated many hauntings and were involved in exorcisms that were there, and during the last exorcism they were involved in, she said she knew something was wrong with Ed. Dang. And he said to them, "I have to go in the car. There's a funny cold that's coming over me." And the thing is about that, she never fucking finished the story in that interview. She just, like, went on about something else, like, in Japan, like, you know, whatever.
She never, like, gave the juicy deets.
Yeah, I was like, what was happening? Did Ed get possessed? Like, what's going on? But she never fucking finished it. Lorraine, come on.
We're gonna have to read their books, because I think that's where all the good stuff is, you know?
Yes. When I saw that, I was like, I want to read their stuff. No more, yeah. But, yeah, they also, Ed and Lorraine, they were on the show Scariest Places on Earth. I don't know which episode, but she also Lorraine appeared on Paranormal State, and she was an investigator on the show. Yeah, she famous. Lorraine was featured in several episodes of the Discovery series A Haunting, which I've previously mentioned that I used to watch that. Yeah. So I think there is cases in that show that she worked on, and then apparently she had a cameo appearance in The Conjuring, where she is also credited as a consultant. Ooh. But yeah, so pretty much Ed and Lorraine Warren, it was destined for them to be together. They were meant to be
perfect, you know, for each other. Meant to
be. Yeah. And it was supposed to happen. And so from June 23rd, 1943 until they were together from June 23rd, 1943 until Lorraine tragically lost her husband in 2006 from a stroke. That's when Ed died, I believe she continued to help with cases, but she didn't like go and do. What the heck was that?
That was me. I'm sorry. It was an accident.
Oh my god, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me? I muted myself on accident. I'm sorry.
That scared the shit out of me. Oh my god. I was like, what is happening?
I'm an idiot.
Oh my god. Anyways, I was saying, oh my god, what was I saying?
They were destined to be.
Yeah, pretty much. I think she continued to help out, but she didn't really like go and do investigations anymore. I think she was just kind of helping,
on the
like if people had questions. Yeah. And then for like 13 years, I don't think she really did much. And then when she was 90 years old, she decided to stop making public appearances. And she didn't even help in investigation. She was just like done with it all, you know.
That's fair. It's hard.
But yeah, she passed away peacefully in her sleep, so so we are told. So yeah, rest in peace, Lorraine.
And Ed.
It was very sad when I read that. Oh my god. But
at the same time, they lived like a pretty long, fulfilling life. They helped a lot of people, did a lot of stuff, you know.
That's it. That's all I have.
So I'm going to talk about two of the stories that Kayla like mentioned that they worked on. I picked like two that were like, I don't know, the least, I don't know. They have like 10,000 cases, but I couldn't really find a lot of information on their smaller cases. Like, I don't know if it's just like not on Google or I don't know how to look for things, but I just went with like I don't know, the least popular that people haven't seen. Like in this story that I'm going to tell, the movie is like admittedly way more like fabricated and like not exactly the same. So it's not like too predictable. I mean, it kind of is. I don't know. But it's about...
Well, with movies, they always fabricate things.
It's true. Like, it was like even... I mean, I'll get into that. Like, Lorraine had an opinion on it and, you know, everything. So... But it's about the Snedeker family. The Snedeker family... I got a lot of my information about this on, like, an interview about them. And... I'll post screenshots of it because you can like see them all and it's in the 80s and they all have like pretty cool fashion and it's pretty interesting. I'm here for it. But they were a family that made the decision to move from upstate New York to Southington, Connecticut to be near the hospital, which their oldest son, which let me just tell you this, I have no idea what his name really is because like in the interview, they always call him Steven, but then like in articles on the internet, everyone calls him Philip. So I'm just gonna call him Stevens because that's what his mom said. So
interesting.
Must be right. But their oldest son, Steven, they were going near the hospital for him because he was receiving treatment for Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is cancer of the immune system. So they just wanted to be near the best doctors and all that. And then they moved into this home. It was like a rental home, but they didn't realize that the home was previously Hallahan Funeral Home. There's like conflicting opinions on whether they actually did know or not. Because the landlord claims that he told them like for sure and in detail, but the neighbor said that the sign was boarded up and Carmen, the mom, like seriously says like it was boarded up, like we did not see it, and I believe her. And so they moved in, and when she came in the first time, Carmen, there were several like worker men there at the bottom of the home, so they couldn't really get a good look at the basement and the lower part of the house. The home is designed so when you go into it, there's a wood entrance with a wood hall going up to the top apartment. And then as you go through the hallway to the left, there used to be a chapel, but they converted it into a dining room. And then, behind that dining room is a kitchen. So that's like their house now. And then behind that, there was a back door leading to French doors that led into the basement. So
that's freaky.
yeah,
French doors.
it's
in a
like
basement.
fancy, right? Like all of these like entrances and weird stuff, and I don't even
Wait,
know.
so when you say apartment, does that mean like it's a whole different unit? Like this house has multiple like kitchens and
Honestly, like
li-
I don't know. I think it's just one unit, but I might be wrong because like they did have a lot of neighbors, so I'm not sure if it's like a next door like in the same building or like next door
Mhm.
as in like in the house next door. I don't know. They
Mhm.
call it an apartment though. So that's where it's
Yeah.
confusing. Like I don't know. I couldn't really tell. They didn't like I don't know have any information on how many units there or anything, but
Mhm.
the house looks like it could be 4 apartments or even 2 if they were like bigger.
Mhm.
So, if you go through the French doors, you go down to the basement, there was the morgue, which they eventually found out. There was a hoist that brought the bodies up to the first floor bedroom, and
Mhm.
there was a blood tank to the right of the staircase, also a sink where they used to flush bodily fluids. They left like makeup, wax, coffin pillows, which they
Oh
all
my
found like
god.
way later after they moved in.
Mhm.
Their oldest son, Steven, slept in the coffin room where like kept all the coffins. And if you made it right from his room, his brother Michael slept in the other coffin room. And
Wait, were those in the basement?
I think they were in the basement. Yeah, there was the
Because
2
I
oldest boys shared the basement.
Okay, right. And there was like blood stains
Mm-hmm.
on the walls too, wasn't
Yeah, there was
there?
like blood. Uh-huh.
That's fucking
They
scary.
claimed it was like on the hardwood, and I think there's like pictures of it. So yeah, they like shared the basement, and Steven from like day one knew that the home was like evil and that they needed to leave right away. That's what he told Carmen and Al, his parents, but they
Mhm.
were like, no, now you know it's a funeral home, like now you're scared kind of thing, you know?
Mhm. Makes sense.
Yeah, she's like, come on, kids, get over it kind of thing.
Mhm.
But at the same time, like, if your kids say your house is haunted, please believe them. I hate in movies,
Honestly,
like, when they
fucking for
don't.
real.
Like, it makes me so mad. The kids are like, Mom, I swear. And I'm like, they're sensitive to it.
Yeah.
Listen to them.
Fuck you, parents that don't believe your child
So
when they
annoying.
say that they're scared and whatever.
Exactly. Even
And
if
don't
it's
fucking
not
tell
real.
them, like, don't fucking tell them that it's just a nightmare and go back to sleep. Like, let them
No.
fucking crawl in your bed and let them sleep with you, you assholes. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be so
Make them
rude.
draw a picture of it or something. Document it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
But anyways, so Al and Carmen were like, no, we don't believe in that. Until a year later when their niece Kelly moved in, and I think it's their other daughter Trish that moved in too.
Oh,
And
fuck.
they started to believe like all the strange stuff that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
One night Kelly came home from a date and told Carmen that it was happening again. So Carmen like walked into her room and was like, "Oh no, it's happening again." And then
Oh,
so
God.
Carmen came into her room with her Bible to put the ghost stories to rest, and Carmen believed the entire time like this girl's just superstitious, like get over it.
Oh,
And
my God. What a bitch.
um Kelly told Carmen what she had like experienced when she was trying to go to sleep, that there was like a freezing cold entity touching her underwear. Trigger warning, this is like sexual abuse in this story. So before I say
Mm-hmm.
the next thing, just trigger warning. So it was like touching her underwear and touching her like private areas, like a freezing cold hand. She could like feel it, and like it would like tug at her underwear and like her blankets and stuff. And a different occasion, Carmen was just sitting there just reading the Bible to Kelly, and Kelly said again, like, I feel it coming, like, on, and warned Carmen.
Sorry, it's not funny, but like the way you said it, I
Yeah,
feel like
coming,
because
like,
of
on.
the situation.
I know, it's bad. But then this is when like Carmen believed, because she saw a full arm, including knuckles, the joints, and a wrist, slip
Ew.
slip under Kelly's nightshirt over her breast and then disappeared into the wall.
Ew.
Which I'm like,
Ghosts are fucking nasty,
what is it?
man.
Like a single arm? Like one arm, just like woo, like
That just reminds me
getting
of like
freaky.
fucking Adam's Family, that hand.
Maybe it's real. Somebody probably saw it and was like, let's design it. So this is when Carmen was like, all right, we gotta get some help for this.
Wait, didn't Kelly, that's her name, right? Kelly?
Yeah, that's like the
Wouldn't
niece.
she wouldn't she actually get like, like raped?
By the thing? I think
Yeah.
so. Like, I'll get into that more, but like,
Okay.
I don't know if Kelly did per se. I just know like those things happened to Kelly, but I don't know for sure. But like Carmen and Al were starting to notice things. Like now that Carmen was like, okay, it's real. They would
Mhm.
hear music from the 30s that would wake them up in the middle of the night, and then they would also hear like older men chatting back and forth. Al totally believed like someone was there every single time, so he would go look for the intruder. At first, he went just himself, like with no weapon, and then like as the nights went on, he got more scared and started bringing a baseball bat. And then eventually, he got his gun and was basically like, "Carmen, I can't do this. Like, I'm gonna shoot our kids because I'm so scared. Like,
Oh my god.
not like on purpose, but like I'm gonna be so scared and somebody's gonna move and I'm just gonna shoot. Like, I'm gonna be so startled." So they're like, we have to fix this. Um, their bed began to vibrate and they described it to have like a pulse or a heartbeat when you like put your hand on it. Um,
No. Please
yeah,
no.
even people who like didn't live in the house when they touched the bed could feel the heartbeat, which I'm like, what? Um,
Ew, that's freaky.
I know. Can you imagine that?
No, and I don't want to.
Scary. When they slept, they felt tiny feet walking across their bed, like little cat feet, but they didn't have a cat. And then when the cat would like stop walking, they would feel like a full grown man like plop onto their bed. Like, just like, what was that? And Carmen and Al never experienced it at the same time. They would always wake up separately and then they would experience it and then like tell each other what happened. And things were just getting like worse and worse. The presence was getting stronger. And Al claims that one night him and Carmen were laying in bed and he felt a strange sensation come over him that started at his feet and then climbed up his entire body. Before he could even wake up or wake Carmen up, move at all, he was just completely frozen in fear. And he started feeling a stinging penetration in his anus. And he
Oh
tried
my
screaming out
god.
to Carmen, but he wasn't able to. When everything was said and done and he could like talk again, he told Carmen that he was pretty sure he was sodomized by a ghost. And he said it wasn't like normal penetration, it was just like, I don't know. So they didn't have any physical evidence of it. They didn't want to take it to like a doctor and be like, this happened, because he didn't think it could be proved. And then,
I wonder, like, what they would see. Like, if
mhm.
they did go to a doctor, like, if they could actually see that he was, like, raped or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, he, in the interview, Carmen makes it sound like they kind of like examined their self, but that like they didn't see anything. So I don't know what you look for, but whatever. But later she experienced the same thing. She said that she was also raped by the evil presence and it was like zero pleasure. It was like the worst pain ever. She said like it was not like normal sex in any way, shape, or form. And she couldn't even move when it happened either, but she could hear the ghost like laughing like the whole time he was raping her or they were raping her. Um
Ew, I hate that.
I don't know what they are. But anyways, Michael, their son, I think that's like the second oldest son, he actually saw the ghosts and he said they took different forms and shapes. He saw cat eyes looking down from the ceiling onto his bed. And a different time, he saw the ghost in the form of his sister. He thought his sister was laughing and saw the lights like flashing on and off. She was like turning them on and off. And then he went to check on his sister and they told him that like she'd been in bed the whole time, like Jenny
I
couldn't
hate
have left
that.
bed, like no way. It's so scary.
Yeah, I
And
hate that.
sometimes like the entity would have different voices, like sometimes it would be the sweet voice of a child and like giggle and like be really comforting, and it would appear as like kind of like a smoke. And then other times it would have like a raspy voice and it would cuss out the family and like say super mean things to them and stuff.
That's a fucking demon.
Yeah, it's a demon. Yeah, it's a demon. For sure. Entity, demon, evil presence, whack, get out, basically. So the Snedekers had called their family and the police for help, but they all refused to help them. The police didn't believe them, but also when the police came to the home, they almost shot the door because like a door moved without anybody touching it. And they're like, what? But basically, like, they couldn't move out because everyone says, like, just move out, just move out. And basically, when Carmen would leave to go to work, her phone system or her computer would go down at work and the entity would, like, follow her around. And even her coworkers started to believe that she was being haunted. Al parked his car one day when he went to work, and the car started driving on its own.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What is that bullshit?
Like a strong demon for sure. Who can turn a car on? Like, that's some power. But basically, her coworkers were woke and they were like, here's Ed and Lorraine Warren's phone number. Call them. They'll help you out. And since like their 4 children and 2 nieces were all affected by the entity, they knew it was like it had to be real. Like there was no way around it. But Carmen still was like questioning her son, her oldest son, who believed in it the most. And she thought maybe like his cancer treatment was causing him to like believe it or something. And so she asked his oncologist, and the oncologist was like, nah, like not a thing at all. But she still took him to get psychiatric like treatment and medication and stuff. Yeah, she was like, I don't know about this. Even after she believed, I'm pretty sure. Like,
that makes no sense.
I don't get it. I know, like ass backwards. But even Carmen claims at one point during this whole situation, she was possessed by the entity. And this was right after the Warrens were called. And basically they brought like a bunch of researchers with them that were there like around the clock, like taking notes, documenting everything. And the kids were just around hanging out, and they had just been joking around all day, like having a chill day. But when Carmen went to bed, she said all of a sudden she was no longer in her room. She drew sketches of what she experienced, so I'll like make sure to post pictures of them. They're kind of blurry, but it's still like interesting to see like what she saw.
Oh my god.
But she said like all of a sudden she was engulfed in complete darkness. She couldn't feel her skin. She couldn't speak. The entity was like loud in her head, like shouting obscenities at her. And she was trying to say like the Lord's Prayer over it, but it like wasn't working. And it was just like making the entity like more angry. And she said the entity like brought her to this place. It was a desert road of tears, and it was called Ethereum. And it was the place of...
Stop! This is scary.
Yeah, it really is. It was the place of dark and lost souls. And she could only feel their, like, deepest negative emotions, like fear, pain, abandonment, like, all the horrible things.
This is scary. Like, I'm legit scared. Like,
it's so scary. God. I know. When I was, like,
terrified.
Listening to the interview, I was like, oh, God, I'm spook shitless.
Fuck.
She was stuck in Ethereum for 8 hours because every time she would try to leave, the entity was like, you can't leave. No, like, don't do it. So
how did she leave?
I don't know. It didn't say. It just said, like, she kind of, like, snapped out of it pretty much. Like, it was just, like, over. I don't know. The entity's like, you've done your time. Get out of here.
On to someone next.
Yeah. Probably one of those kids or something. But
he's like, thank you. Next.
Yes.
Fuck out of here, bitch.
So Ed and Lorraine stayed with them for 9 weeks, and they didn't accept any pay from the Snedekers at all. The researchers that came with them started experiencing phenomena from the first day that they came into the house. And basically, in the interview, Carmen mentions that she doesn't think the ghosts have a gender, which I kind of like slipped on that earlier. I don't know, like They she says that they call them incubus and succubus and that they don't have a gender, and that's like what Ed and Lorraine told her. And then she's like, they're gonna get into that, and then they never get into it, so I don't know like what that is or what that means. So I don't know. Maybe they have genders.
Huh. Well, if an incubus, I don't think that's an actual spirit. That's like a certain kind of demon, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure it's like, I think it's a demon. Like, whatever.
And I don't think a demon has a gender.
Yeah, I guess I would make sure it would make sense for like a demon to not have a gender, but at the same time, what's a demon but like a person that was bad? I don't know.
No. A demon is someone is a
like a negative presence.
It's something that was never never a human.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
That's what it is. Like, it's just like an evil, like, it's not a soul. It's not like a person that died. It's just, it's so scary. Oh god, I don't want to talk about it.
I'm scared of demons. I'm not gonna lie, that's my biggest fear. I asked on Instagram what all of your guys' biggest fear was, and they were not as deep as demons. Like, I'm terrified of them. Worst fear. But this occurs because of this whole like situation that was taking place. Their neighbors did not like it, and they were basically like, you guys are making this up, this isn't real. Some family members gave them backlash for not leaving the home, but they didn't really understand that like it was following them all the time. And even Carmen explained that one time she left the home and was trying to walk down the street with the niece Kelly, and she could feel herself being like sodomized while she was walking away.
Oh my god.
Terrible. So basically, like, in that interview, it lets all of their neighbors like speak up, like get the mic and talk.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty weird, and they're all like very combative. It's a weird interview, but Richard, so it was like,
wait, is it the same one that I sent you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I didn't watch all of it. I was like, wait, I'm gonna wait.
But so the people that mostly talk in it are Richard, Yvonne, and Jim. And basically, Richard is the person that moved into the place after the Snedekers left. And he's like, your story has several inconsistencies. Like, a close relative of theirs told him that they were making up the story for financial gain. But then Carmen says another one of her family members, they don't know if it's the same one, told her that the person who moved in was like looking for an exorcism. So she's like, are you sure you're not being haunted? And he basically comes back and says he has like a 7 and a 6-year-old child, and they haven't had any experiences like of the paranormal in the home, and that if they did, he like if he heard as much as a board creak, he would rip them out of that house so fast so they didn't get like hurt. And his theory was the ghost was attached like to the Snedekers, not to the home, like the funeral home.
Maybe. But
the Snedekers believe that like he didn't have a problem because of the exorcism that the Warrens did and the priest did, and like all of the precautions that were taken by the Warrens.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then Yvonne, another neighbor, claimed that the paranormal happenings only started when the Snedekers started becoming like late on their rent. But the Snedekers snapped back and was like, our attorney will dispute that. Like, we were never late on our rent and like whatever.
Oh my god.
And then there was this other lady who got up there and was like, I used to not believe in ghosts, but my friend Joan went to the Snedekers home and went into the cellar, and when she went in the cellar, she smelled like a very disgusting, icky odor that made her feel sick, and she had to leave the home right away. And then another time when she was there, she was talking to Carmen in the dining room, and she felt something bite her leg, but there was no like mark or anything. Yeah. And so after that, she went to a pool party with them, and basically like all the things started happening like to them. They started feeling weird, and they all got like crucifixes and like made all their kids wear it from like here on out kind of thing.
Wait, who?
The like Joan, the one who was there, who like got bit and stuff.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, she was like, I'm not risking this. Like, I feel really bad about this. Like, this is a bad presence. And basically, there was another neighbor who was like psycho. She said that she heard the stuff that they were talking about. And so she got a journal and started journaling like all of the times that they claimed that they heard something and then what happened like in the neighborhood. And she was like, every time it corresponds with a truck or a chains or blah, blah, blah. And like, they're like, it's way more than that. Like, we're seeing things, we're hearing voices. Like, it's not a truck.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the like neighbor boys who was friends with the oldest son said that he was taking like psychedelic drugs and like that's why this was happening. But
then it wouldn't just be
him.
It would just be him.
Yeah, like nobody else would experience it, but they all were. And Ed Warren kind of like piped in and said that illegal drugs can heighten your sensitivity to the paranormal and it almost puts you in the same state as a clairvoyant.
It's true.
So, I mean,
I believe it.
I know that would make sense why he was like so keen to it like first, like he knew it right away, you know.
I know like a lot of people say that they'll take like acid or shrooms because it makes them have like a spiritual like awakening.
Yeah. For sure. And then a lot of the neighbors came for the priest. They're like, who's the priest? But the priest wanted to stay anonymous. And basically after this whole shebang, like 2 years after this all happened, Ed and Lorraine Warren talked the Snedekers into writing a book called In a Dark Place with them. So it's like they all wrote it, them four, plus this guy named like Ray Garton, who's some fictional author, I guess. And then this story was turned into a movie called A Haunting in Connecticut, which I'm sure you guys have seen it. But basically, like, it's known that Hollywood basically like took the reins of the movie and several things that were portrayed didn't happen, such as like the home being burned down and dead bodies being in the walls.
And the ectoplasm or whatever plasma.
All the weird stuff. Yeah, that's like, and like the shower curtain, they're like, no, that didn't happen. And like, but Lorraine said it's very, very loosely based on the actual investigation.
I'm sure.
A few things in the movie were actually right, though. Carmen said that once she was mopping the floor and the mop water turned to like dark red blood. And then,
Ew.
yeah. And she was like scared it was going to ruin the floor. And then another time there was like photos in the home along with like personal items from some of the dead people and like toe tags, head tags, nameplates for coffins. And they have a theory that was like never backed up at all, but they think that the funeral workers were guilty of necrophilia, so that like caused an evil presence to come, but that was never proven. Like having sex with dead bodies.
Ew.
Yeah, which would like, I guess it makes sense for that job, but like please don't do that.
That's so gross. What the fuck?
So after like the whole exorcism and stuff, they've never experienced anything. And the current owner of the home now says that the home is no longer haunted and she doesn't think it was ever haunted. Like, end of story.
So, wait, the homeowner now?
Yeah.
Well, no fucking shit, bitch. She didn't live in the house before.
She doesn't know what she's talking about.
Wow, I sound mean. I was like, no shit, bitch.
Well, she's
I swear I'm not mean.
She seriously doesn't believe the truth. A lot of them don't. A lot of them don't. I don't believe they're lying. Like, they have no reason to lie.
There's always, like I said before, there's always going to be people that just don't fucking agree or, like, believe because they just don't believe in that kind of stuff.
It's true.
And then they're gonna stand by their word until they see a ghost or until they die.
Yep, it's true. So that was the Snedeker family. Honestly, watch the interview because it's really good. I also have another case that I wrote about them. It's like a lesser known, but still kind of well known. It's the Werewolf Bill Ramsey case that Kayla had brought up earlier. Basically, like, the Warrens didn't even want to take the case on because they were like, is this going to ruin us? Like, is our werewolves even real? Can we even, like, take that idea and roll with it? But there was, like, a guy named Bill Ramsey. He lived in Essex in London in a place called Southend. He was, like, a 9-year-old normal child just playing in the back garden, and a strange feeling came over him. He got this like icy wave of freezing cold, and even his sweat froze on his skin. He started
Ew.
he started to like release this like disgusting stench that almost made his own self throw up. And he wanted to just run away and just like live with the wolves like in that moment. And something took control of his body, and he jolted into a pure rage. He started pumping with adrenaline, and he ripped a fence post out of the ground that like later
This
like
9-year-old?
yeah, like his parents tried to like pull it out later, and they were like, we can't even pull that thing, like it's way too in there. And then he started swinging it around like a club, and then he grabbed, I think it's like a wire, I'm guessing it's like the wire meshing of the fence, and he just started gnawing on it.
What?
So his parents were like, this is scary, like clearly our kid's gonna murder us. And they went inside until they noticed that he was like calm again. And then from then on out, his life was totally normal. Like nothing ever happened. And then he grew up, he got married, he had 3 kids. But in the first 2 years of him being married, he started having like horrible nightmares all the time. And each nightmare was like a repeat, like what are they called? Reoccurring nightmares. Like it was every single night the same. And it had been 15 years since the fence pole fiasco. And
that's so weird.
I know, 15 years. So it was 1967, and he woke up in a cold sweat, and he was taken over by that same like funky feeling. In the nightmare he was a few steps behind his wife, who then like looked at him and would run away in fear. He said this particular night he woke up and he heard a wild animal panting in his bedroom, like close to him, and he realized it was him, like panting, like making the noise.
Ew!
Yeah,
I don't like this.
It's really scary.
And ew! I don't like it. Oh my god, Michaela, I'm so freaked out. I don't like this episode anymore.
This one's like resolved. They're both resolved, which is good. Like they both solve it, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's like at least if you become a werewolf, you can get rid of it. But
wait, have you seen Ginger Snaps?
I haven't. Brandon told me I should watch that.
That's like another one of my like all-time favorite films. It's so good. The girl becomes like a fucking werewolf.
Ooh, honestly, I was thinking about it, and I think like my all-time favorite, like kind of what would we call it, like horror movie, is The Lost Boys by a lot. I love The Lost Boys so much.
I need to watch that. That's a horror movie?
It's like, well, kind of. It's like thriller horror. It's vampires.
Oh fuck!
I love
need to watch that.
I think it's on Netflix or Hulu.
Ooh, okay.
I'm watching it tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
I love it.
I'm gonna watch it tomorrow too.
Anyways, after panting old Bill, he grew up more, and his life went back to normal, and it was now fast forward to 1983. So from 1967 to 1983. He decided to go to the local pub with some bros, and he got pretty drunk. And then when he started to get drunk, he started to get like these icy chills that he felt when he was a kid, and he like ran away and went to the bathroom. He looked at himself in the mirror, and he saw a wolf looking at him back. Like,
ew.
Yeah. But he came out of the bathroom, and then he just like went on with the night like NBD. Nothing happened. But when they got in the car, he started to get like all hot and bothered again, and basically like his hands twisted and formed into claws. He started to growl, and he tried to chomp his friend's leg. But the driver of the car was like, yo, like, calm down. It's all right, dog. Like, pulled over. And then, like, he pulled Bill out of the car after several attempts, and Bill, like, eventually calmed down. And everything was, like, fine. So then later that year, before Christmas, he started to feel chest pains. So he went to the emergency room and was like, is this a heart attack? What's going on? And the nurse checked his blood pressure. But while they were doing that, he sank his teeth into the nurse's arm and then, like, fucked some shit up, ran through the entire ward like a crazy man.
What?
Yeah, like, people reported he had, like, hunched shoulders, and, like, his hands curled up to be like claws, and his lips were like snarling like a rabid animal, and like everybody that tried to touch him was faced with like superhuman strength. He was just like on a sick one. Police officers tried to handcuff him, but nothing helped until he was dosed with a bunch of tranquilizer. And the next day, the doctors were like, all right, dude, you need to go under observation. And he voluntarily checked him in and then checked himself out within a few months because he was, or no, he checked himself out, and then a few months later, he checked himself in back again. Like, he was like, I don't need this. And he was like, yes, I do. Because he started to like freak out when he was on a trip with his mom. So he like went to the hospital, and when he went to the hospital, it was worse than the last time. He like the nurse recognized him and was like, I'm not doing that. So she went to find the doctor, and Bill threw her to one side of the room and lunged for an orderly. 4 police officers were there, so they like jumped on him basically, and Ramsey just like fought them back. He was snarling and on all fours, like growling at them, and most of the officers got injured. Even one had to be hospitalized for 4 days.
Damn.
So he was arrested, and they called the police surgeon to like check himself into a mental institution because he was like on a sick one, and basically like nobody could control him when he was like that. Like he was just too strong. So in the summer of 1987, Bill basically like made a citizen's arrest of like some teenage sex worker, and he was like, get in my car, little girl, and drove her to the police station, which like so annoying. Like, I don't like him for that. Gross as heck. But the second they got to the station, the girl ran into the station right away, and Bill began to feel that weird feeling like surge through his body as the policeman came to his car and like tried to talk to him. And the guy was like a bigger police officer. He was like bigger than him, and so the officer started questioning him and just like brushed his arm, and it like released the wolf in Bill, and he started choking the officer, and it took 2 injections of sedatives and a dozen officers to get him to stop that time. So this time they were like, what's the ish? They took him to get MRIs, x-rays, psychiatric tests, but nothing was conclusive. They couldn't figure out why this like normal man kept like losing it, basically. So one day they like put this on TV, and Ed and Lorraine Warren saw it and thought, like, Lorraine instantly was like, he's possessed. Like, I have a feeling he's possessed. So she called the police station, and after they like kind of argued it out, they were able to talk with Bill. They convinced Bill to come to their church in Connecticut and have their own specialist, Bishop Robert McKenna, perform an exorcism on him. This newspaper called The People sponsored the whole trip for him and his wife because they wanted to like get the publicity. Yeah. And even the night before he had the exorcism, he tried to strangle his wife while she was sleeping.
No.
So it's like, about time, bucko. Let's get that thing out of you. So at the start of the exorcism, Bill's like, this is fake. This isn't working. Like, they had done half an hour service in Latin already, but Bill was like not reacting at all. And then all of a sudden, his face started contorting and turning into a wolf.
No.
His hands turned into claws.
What?
And then the Bishop McKenna was like, exit this body, and like came out of his body, and like the whole werewolf came at McKenna and then disappeared completely. And supposedly this was like all recorded on film, like the transformation of his face and all, but I couldn't find it anywhere. So it's like on some locked up government film or something, because I ain't seen it anywhere.
That's some fucked up shit.
Yeah. And
that's really creepy.
It's so scary. So like after that, he never had any problems again. Like, it was over. So they think it was possession, but people also say it could be like this thing called lycanthropy, which is like a supernatural transformation into like a ghost, like being a delusional mindset of an animal. Usually a wolf is like what people revert to.
That's so weird.
There's also something called, I'm gonna butcher this name, but it's like hypertrichosis, chosis, which is like growing hecka hair on you, and I don't know, people think that's werewolfy. And then like rabies can cause you to act like a wolf, and hallucinogenic drugs can too.
Can cause you to act like a wolf.
Food poisoning can. So be careful, because you said you ate something that made your stomach hurt. So
yeah. What the
you
heck?
start feeling
so
a little
weird.
snarly.
Nope, no thanks.
It's so weird.
That is super weird.
I just thought that was like pretty interesting, because we pretty much never hear about like werewolves, or I don't even know if they're a real thing. Who knows?
I don't think I believe in those.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess like if the demon thing, like, are there demon wolves? Like, there's insect aliens supposedly, so who am I to say? Yeah.
Crazy.
I know. The world's much bigger than we think it is. Well, that was our tribute to Ed and Lorraine Warren, the demonologists of our century, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. There's more where that came from, though. We're not going to stop talking about them. I mean, not every episode's going to be about them, obviously.
Yeah.
But
they will make an appearance. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they did cover some really crazy cases, and we've got a special episode coming
planned
very soon. So we're excited for that. I'm very excited for that. I'm like super duper excited for it. So.
I'll have to think of some story to like match up to yours. We're gonna do like a big wild episode probably.
Yeah, it's gonna be for our 10th episode, so watch out for it.
Stay tuned. Also,
like our actual 10th full length episode,
like episode 10.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we talked about like maybe doing a giveaway or something for episode 10. So merch, we'll think about it. Let us know what you think about it. Tell us.
Yeah.
Email us your stories. If you ever had any of this weird stuff happen to you, we believe you. Email us. Let us know. We want to know.
Yeah. Even if you have like nightmares, and you, I don't know,
just want to vent.
Email us your nightmare. I would be so fucking happy to share it. So,
yeah. taleoftwodeadgirls@gmail.com. Hit us up if you want weekly episodes for our morbid minis. We share your stories. You listen to them. That's how it works around here.
Yeah, guys. We're running out. We need you.
Email us.
Yes. Tell your friends. Tell everybody.
Share us, like us. We'll send you kisses in return. XOXO.
That's so cute. Your little... I love it. Oh my god. All right, guys. Well, we'll catch you next week in our morbid mini number 6. So
stay spooky, my friends.
Yeah, we'll
meet you 6 feet under. Bye.
All right, bye guys.